The jury that the freak-offs made her feel disgusting and humiliated and worthless.
She did say these freak-offs lasted between 1 and 4 days, and it would take her an equal amount of time to get her body recovered, to rehydrate, to rest.
Well, I think we're going to learn a lot about the nature of Cassie's relationship with Diddy.
Cassie Ventura just named Christina Korm as keeping tabs on her for Diddy.
The second thing that was discussed this morning, will the public, will the media be able to see video of these freak-offs?
Cassie recently testified in court that Diddy pushed her to have sex with escorts as the second day of testimony in the case against Diddy came to a close. The specifics of Diddy's mistreatment are horrifying, and he reportedly had escorts urinate on Cassie. Hotel employees are disclosing that Diddy bribed them to keep quiet, and prosecutors have now summoned the escort to testify against Diddy. What did the escort say about Diddy, and why did Cassie start weeping throughout her testimony?
All today, including a former security officer at the hotel, where Diddy is seen on video attacking Ventura brutally. You remember that video back in 2016. The prosecutors played the video. The witness testified that Diddy tried to pay him off with a giant wad of cash. The day's second witness was a male escort. This is where it really got very juicy, who says that he was paid by Diddy numerous times to have sex with Cassie while Diddy sat there in the corner, masturbating and watched. He says he once saw Diddy throw a liquor bottle at Cassie and heard him beating her in another room.
The horrific facts of Diddy's mistreatment demonstrate how vile Diddy really is. According to the prosecution, Diddy wasn't operating alone. His head of staff and even his bodyguards were complicit in the cover-up. Diddy would reportedly buy off hotel employees, and at one point, even child Cassie when she attempted to flee from him. The abuse Diddy was allegedly inflicting on Cassie was so terrible that even the escort he used refused to perform it.
Emily Johnson actually said that Cassie did choke on the urine of an escort when Diddy forced this escort to allegedly urinate in her mouth. They did say inner circle numerous times, I believe, really trying to amplify the RICO charges. Diddy couldn't have done all of these crimes without his inner circle, right? Without his bodyguard, without his driver, without his assistant. They talked about alleged kidnappings. That one time he kidnapped his assistant to go and try to find Cassie when he thought Cassie was cheating. I mean, it was wild. I feel like I could go on forever, but I won't. At a certain point, wasn't able to perform for Diddy and Cassie. He got erectile dysfunction because of what he saw. He said he saw Diddy at one point after an encounter, drag Cassie by the hair from her computer seat all the way back to her bedroom while she was kicking and screaming and crying. And after she apologized and came out, he said that Diddy said, okay, you guys want to continue, and he couldn't perform. And that was it. From there, he could not perform after that. And he saw Diddy abuse Cassie 2 or 3 more times after that as well. And this is a muscular guy. He was 41 years old, a bit smaller, but again, he seemed incredibly affected by what he saw.
And was there, just quickly, Lauren, was there a point where he talked about, because I was trying to follow the blogs, again, it's hard, you were in there, it's difficult for us on the outside. Did he talk about Cassie at one point being under the influence of drugs to the point that she was slumped over, and Diddy still wanted him to have sex with her?
Diddy apparently didn't give a damn about Cassie's fate and would punch, drag, and beat her if she didn't participate in his freak-off sessions. According to reports, this was the first time Diddy gave Cassie narcotics. These freak-out sessions reportedly lasted days, and Cassie needed frequent IV fluids to recuperate from fatigue. Cassie had no idea what was going on. Diddy only informed her about the ecstasy he gave her after the freak-off finished, and her drink had been tampered with.
Cassie told the jury that Diddy forced her into drug-fueled sex acts with male escorts while he watched, sometimes sitting in the corner and masturbating. Through tears, she said she took drugs to numb herself, ecstasy, cocaine, and ketamine, all of it allegedly supplied by Diddy. She said the freak-offs included as many as 4 male escorts at once and typically lasted 36 to 72 hours. The longest, she said, the longest freak off that she says she was forced to perform in lasted 4 days. She said they took place around the world, from New York to Miami to Spain to even Turks and Caicos. And at every stop, Cassie said the hotel rooms were stocked by Diddy's staff with baby oil, condoms, and drugs. And she says that these hotel rooms, this is disgusting, the hotel rooms were left covered in baby oil and covered in blood and covered in urine. Cassie told the jury that the freak-offs made her feel disgusting and humiliated and worthless. But she said she couldn't say no because she says Diddy threatened to release videos of the freak-offs with her.
Just before they broke for lunch, Cassie Ventura described how freak-offs actually became a job, lasting 36 to 48 hours, the longest one lasting up to 4 days. No wonder the participants needed IV fluids after a freak-off. I'm just curious, to Lauren Collin joining us at the courthouse, how was the jury responding?
What I will say is Cassie made a point to say that when she wasn't making music, she was actually having to, quote, recover from these freak-offs. And again, she did say these freak-offs lasted between 1 and 4 days, and it would take her an equal amount of time to get her body recovered, to rehydrate, to rest, to detox from these drugs. It was really, really sad to listen to.
When Diddy started pressuring Cassie to take part in drug-fueled freak-offs, she was just 22 years old. Diddy would repeatedly force Cassie to have sex with various prostitutes as he watched during these freak-offs, which might last anywhere from 1 to 4 days. Cassie claims that she felt as if these freak-out episodes, which occurred many times each month, were almost always documented and that it would take her weeks to recover.
That she said on the stand. At one point, she said that a male escort had urinated in her mouth and she actually choked on it. And it was at that point someone in the courtroom actually had to walk out of the door there while, Diddy sat at the defense table listening on here. But as she was describing these events where she said that, there were multiple male escorts that were happening at one time, these freak-offs would happen for 2, 3, the longest 4 days at a time. And control is the word we need to talk about. That is what prosecutors really laid out. And you heard Cassie describe how every action during these freak-offs, which were between her and male escorts, not necessarily between her and her boyfriend, Sean Diddy Combs, he sat off to the side really directing things according to her and along with what he wanted to see. But he was in control, she said, of exactly how they did everything, from the platform shoes that she needed to wear, the clothes that she needed to wear occasionally, masks, wigs, whether or not the male escort could ejaculate, where he could ejaculate. Everything, she said, was controlled by him. And mind you, Brian, his children, 6 children, are in the courtroom at this point listening to all of this. And the jury was picked knowing that they needed a certain level of comfort to hear these types of descriptions. It was very emotional and really tough to hear, Brian.
Even the escorts were concerned about Cassie because of how bad things were. Additionally, the escorts felt uneasy after seeing Diddy severely abuse Cassie when she was unable to perform. Diddy's hired escort, David, said he was unable to keep the freak off after seeing Diddy strike Cassie.
Diddy beat Cassie. He could no longer, perform and be engaged, because before he said even if they hadn't paid him, he was excited to be part of their world. He was enjoying that kind of activity with them. And then things started changing when he saw one time he was on the couch, Cassie was at her computer, and Diddy, he said, was in Cassie's bedroom. Now, Diddy apparently called out to Cassie to come into the bedroom, and she allegedly told him, just hold on a second, my personal information's on the computer. Now, Daniel describes being absolutely shocked when all of a sudden a liquor bottle, Diddy throws it from across the room right toward Cassie. And then he comes running towards her, grabs her by her hair, drags her into her bedroom and tells her, when I tell you to come, you don't wait, you just come when I tell you. And he says he then heard, after the doors closed, Diddy slapping her, beating her, yelling at her, and Cassie screaming out, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And he says he was just kind of frozen in place. He didn't know what to do. And prosecutors asked him, why didn't you intervene? Why didn't you go inside? And he said, look, I know this is somebody with a lot of resources. Quite frankly, I was afraid for my life. Now, that drew a lot of objections from the defense, but the judge allowed that testimony. And he again reiterated that he was scared in that moment for Cassie, feeling like she was in a dangerous situation, but he didn't feel it was safe enough for him to intervene.
We thought what we saw in that awful video from the Intercontinental was bad, but to hear the actual graphic details of what Cassie and others endured day after day for years is just completely heartbreaking. And to hear the sex worker actually try to offer her aid when, you know, she was being beaten, and literally she went to him for solace, as opposed to the person who supposedly loves and cares about her. She had to jump into the arms of a sex worker, and he was literally like, this is not okay. You need to leave this relationship. And she did, unfortunately, what so many survivors do, which is, I'm okay, it's gonna be okay, basically, I can handle this. And the reality is, she really needed to get out because she was being violated and degraded in so many different ways. And my heart just breaks for her so much.
Melba, you're so right. Ours do as well. What's it going to be like today when she is perhaps called? We think that she's going to be witness number 3. We have a clip where we caught up with her lawyer outside of the courthouse on Monday. Let's take a quick look.
How is Cassie? Is she emotional? Is she like feeling okay with this? Is she nervous?
She's ready.
She is ready. She's also pregnant, God bless her, and visibly pregnant too. So in the later stages of her pregnancy.
Diddy would pay the escort between $4,000 and $6,000 each time he sat and watched Cassie having sex with escorts. The startling aspect of this situation is that Cassie requested that he urinate on her after calling the escort. Why is that? Because if she didn't, she was afraid of what Diddy might do. Cassie claims that if she attempted to flee, Diddy would pursue her and use his bodyguards and staff to keep her under control.
Taking jurors to Los Angeles, March 2016, in the hotel where that surveillance video was taken. The first witness, an LAPD officer who worked security at the hotel, he says he responded to a call for a woman in distress on the 6th floor.
When he got to the floor, he noticed that there was glass on the floor, that the vase and the flowers were broken.
The security guard described going back to Diddy's hotel room and standing in the doorway while Ventura grabbed her things. Inside, another man sitting at the corner of the bed.
So from the very start, the first witness brings the jury into that hallway where he said Sean Combs looked at him with a devilish stare and Cassie Ventura had a purple eye.
Sean Combs tried to offer him money, to give him money to make this go away, and he said he wouldn't accept the money.
The second witness to take the stand, Daniel Phillip, a man who said he was paid to have sex with Cassie on multiple occasions at several high-end New York City hotels, while Diddy watched. The witness said he was paid between $700 and $6,000 each time.
So Mr. Phillip agreed to go to the Gramercy Hotel to do a performance for a bachelorette party. At least that's what he thought. But when he got to the hotel, to the room, that Cassie opened up the door. He did not know that was Cassie, and that she told him, well, it's my birthday and my husband wants to do something special, so can you give me a massage?
Additionally, court-presented text conversations between Diddy and Cassie make it very evident that Diddy was pressuring Cassie to participate in these freak-offs. A female escort Diddy recruited after this complaint was brought against him is one of the witnesses who testified today. Diddy contacted her and offered to give her money to claim she wasn't coerced. It's interesting that she taped the conversation.
ultimately be a difficult thing for the defense to show because of all the evidence the prosecutors in the opening statement said that they had, showing that actually these women really weren't making the choice. You have the video of Cassie where, you know, Sean Combs is beating her, striking her, dragging her out of that hallway video when she was trying to leave one of these freak-off sessions. That doesn't exactly look like a choice. We also heard from the prosecutors that there are text messages where one of the victims, known as Jane, is saying, I don't want to engage in these freak-offs. I don't want to do this. And then there are apparently also recorded calls that we are going to hear between Sean Combs and Jane, in which Sean Combs is offering her money and telling her to say that she wanted to engage in these freak-offs. None of those pieces of corroborating evidence sounds like these women had a choice. So I think that is going to be really critical evidence for the prosecution. And just one last point, even if there is the charges, but there are 2 charges, one for each victim, of transporting these women across state lines for the purposes of prostitution. Those charges do not require force, fraud, or coercion. So consenting adults traveling across state lines for the purpose of prostitution, if he did that, he is guilty. So these arguments about the women had a choice, they're not really a defense to these transportation for prostitution charges. I think those charges in particular will be very difficult for the defense to overcome.
Cassie started crying as she spoke, explaining to the court how he was effectively pimping her out to other guys. During these 2 3-day freak-offs, Diddy would give Cassie cocaine and other substances to keep her up whenever she felt sleepy. Should Cassie attempt to resist, Diddy would get irate and aggressive.
Cassie in court, reportedly tearing up on the witness stand as she testifies against ex-Diddy in his trafficking trial.
It'll be interesting to see how they react and respond to the alleged victim, Cassie Ventura, because she is expecting her 3rd child and is clearly pregnant. So how jurors will kind of see that or visually how they take that into consideration, we don't know, but really they're supposed to make sure that they stay fair and impartial and pay attention to the facts, which is something even the judge warned them about before they were official jurors.
Diddy maintains his innocence against all charges brought against him. Cassie, the prosecution's key witness in the case against the embattled mogul.
The defense acknowledged that the videos of alleged freak-offs will be shown, but that those videos, they said, didn't come from the government's investigation so much as it came directly from Cassie's phone. But they were essentially trying to raise doubt about why did she hold on to these videos, and again making this argument that this case is about love and infidelity and money. But the prosecution is saying, no, you will hear from witnesses that will tell you that they were abused, they were kicked, they were punched, they were coerced to taking drugs and to performing sex acts. So this is only the beginning.
Indeed, I can tell you that I got a chance to listen to her testimony inside court here behind us, and she was emotional. She broke down into tears at one point when she talked about participating in those freak-offs. She says that she was just 22 years old, had just turned 22 when Combs first proposed to her those drug-fueled sex marathons with escorts. She says eventually, though, they became almost weekly, and that they lasted on average, as you said, about 2 to 3 days, the longest one 4 days, and that she stayed awake by drugs that she says Combs gave to her, including ecstasy, cocaine, and mod. She testified that those freak-offs made her feel dirty and worthless, but that she felt like she did not have a choice but to participate because she says Combs would become violent with her. As you pointed out, she says that he would bash her in the head, kick and drag her, and that she didn't know what would happen if she didn't do what he wanted her to do. She told the jury that she tried to express her feelings about participating, but in at least one text message shown to the jury, Combs told her to make it happen anyway.
Also explained how, while dating Kim Porter, he was in fact cheating on her. Remember that Cassie was just 19 when she began dating Diddy, and Diddy was over 40 at the time.
Ventura is sharing new details about her relationship with Sean Diddy Combs. While testifying against her ex in his sex trafficking trial, the pregnant singer, who is currently expecting her third child with husband Alex Fine, reveals to the jury that there was actually an overlap for when she and the late Kim Porter dated the rap mogul. In court, Ventura says, per NBC News, that she and Combs first started their physical relationship when they went on a trip to Miami. It was when they returned home that they began spending more time together, though the relationship was, quote, not public for many years. Ventura adds that Combs didn't want it to, quote, look bad, but also knew it was because of his children and personal things like his family. When she was asked who he was with at the time, Ventura replies, quote, Kim Porter. Combs and Porter, who unexpectedly died in 2018, reportedly dated on and off from 1994 to 2007. With them becoming parents to son Christian, twin daughters Delilah and Jesse, and Porter's son Quincy, whom she had from a previous relationship. Their romance ended in 2007, with her choosing to pack up all of her belongings and move out of their home while Combs was out of town. Porter has previously said to Essence magazine that she wanted it to be, quote, dramatic, adding, quote, if I pack up everything, twins and all, it means I'm out. Puffy's an action person, not a talk person. Ventura and Combs reportedly dated from 2007 to 2018, with her sharing after their romance that he was frequently violent towards the end of their relationship.
Hotel security officers, who were there when he assaulted Cassie in 2016, were also summoned as witnesses. One of these guards claimed that he saw Diddy coerce Cassie into staying with him and that Diddy gave him money to keep quiet about the whole situation. At this point, it was also discovered that Cassie was indeed attempting to flee from a guy who was there and was pressuring her to have sex with him.
Witness to testify was Officer Israel Flores. He was the security officer back in 2016 when we saw that now infamous recording of Sean Combs allegedly beating Cassie Ventura in that hotel hallway. We heard from him. We watched the video in its entirety from multiple angles in order to see exactly what unfolded. And as we watch this video, I want to say, by the way, everything we're about to talk about during this live shot could be perceived as disturbing materials. Just want to give our viewers a little bit of a warning here. Watching Sean Combs kick and drag and grab Cassie Ventura by her neck and by her hair over and over again. And then at one point, Cassie walks over to a phone that's in this lobby, lobby area of their 6th floor hotel room, and she calls for this instant services, and a security guard comes up, and at that point he's able to separate them and he walks them down the hallway towards the hotel room where they were. Cassie apparently telling the security officer that she just wants to leave, and Sean Combs reportedly telling her that she's not going to leave. And when they opened the door to that hotel room, there was another man, according to this officer, sitting in the hotel room.
A current LAPD officer, a former security guard who can lay the foundation for that video and can talk about the black eye that Cassie suffered and the fact that she wanted to leave and escape this freak off. And Combs reportedly offering him a bribe to cover it up. So I think it's a very important first witness to get that video in. In addition to the violence against Cassie, Combs broke a vase over in the hotel. So that's something that also shows the sort of violent streak, really erratic behavior, him sitting in a towel with just his socks on. So really disturbing and also graphic details by Flores, the first government witness.
Cassie is just a few days away from giving birth. Thus, it demonstrates her determination to come and testify against Diddy.
I think we're going to learn a lot about the nature of Cassie's relationship with Diddy. Some of those details we've seen in prior lawsuits, but to hear her on the stand actually giving those details, reliving those moments herself. Also, you have to remember, she's very pregnant right now. So I'm going to be curious to see how long she makes it on the stand, how she's emotionally able to weather all of these questions. And what's going to be interesting to watch is, you know, the defense from the very start in their opening statement said that she chose to be there. So I'm going to be curious to see how she responds to questions about, was this her choice or did she feel like she had to do all of these things?
The bizarre footage of Cassie and other victims being coerced into engaging in sexual activities will not be revealed to the public or to media, according to Aaron Subramanian's decision. None of the cases I've seen indicate in any way, shape, or form that pictures or films of these kinds of claimed sexual abuse actions should be shared in public when there is a clear danger of re-victimization.
This morning, will the public, will the media be able to see video of these freak-offs? During opening statements, we heard that the jurors are going to be able to see video of these freak-offs. These are these sexual encounters between, for instance, Cassie Ventura, as well as another woman, Jane, and male escorts, as well as Sean Diddy Combs. But there's an argument that only the jurors will be able to see these. So we'll have to see what happens. The judge is taking that under advisement. Right now, what's taking place is the continuation of the cross-examination of a man by the name of Daniel Phillip. Julie, he is the male stripper that was hired by, he said, Cassie to engage in sexual acts.
Because yes, according to Cassie, Diddy wasn't just keeping tabs on her, he had an entire surveillance system disguised as a lifestyle not the kind you see in celebrity tell-alls either. This was real life, real control, real fear. The kind of stuff that makes The Handmaid's Tale look like a rom-com by comparison. And who is allegedly running this operation? None other than two of his closest aides, Christina Coram, and Neil Dominic, both high-ranking members of Team Diddy, both deeply embedded in his world, and apparently deeply involved in hers too. Because when asked what kind of conversations she had with Coram, Cassie didn't flinch. She leaned right into the chaos and said, "I talked to Coram about a lot. She knew a lot of my personal things." Translation, this wasn't friendship this was information warfare. This was less assistant and more intelligence officer. But here's where it gets even darker, because not only were these assistants collecting intel, but Diddy allegedly used his security team to enforce consequences when he didn't like what he heard. Enter R-Rock, Diddy's personal security guard, who Cassie claims was deployed like some kind of emotional enforcer. When she tried to escape the situation, like say actually leave the house or go hide in her care, he'd show up out of nowhere like he was auditioning for a role in taken but for emotional manipulation instead of kidnapping. She described how, at times, her belongings would be taken away as punishment, depending on Diddy's mood swings. Her car? Gone. Her apartment keys? Revoked. Her jewelry? Seized like it was collateral in a hostage negotiation. All of it random. All of it controlled. All of it dictated by a man who apparently thought having money meant having the right to dictate someone else's freedom. This wasn't just a relationship gone wrong. This was a full-on power imbalance wrapped in velvet and Versace complete with staff assigned to monitor behavior and report back to the boss like they were living inside a rap video directed by Machiavelli. And while all this was going down, somewhere in Texas, Elon Musk was Googling how to legally disappear from social media without getting sued, because suddenly everyone's looking at their own inner circle like, wait, is this normal? Because let's be clear, this isn't just about Diddy anymore. This is about how fame, fortune, and unchecked ego can turn someone's life into a cage dressed up like a dream. And Cassie lived it, endured it, survived it, and now? She's telling it all in court like she's testifying in front of Congress and forgot to bring her filter. So yes, folks, we are witnessing history unfold, one explosive testimony at a time. And while Diddy may still have millions in the bank, a hit record every decade, and a wardrobe that could fund a small country's fashion industry, he no longer has the luxury of mystery. He's got the spotlight. And trust me, it's shining hotter than Mar-a-Lago under the summer sun. Drop your thoughts below. Hit that subscribe button, and prepare yourself for what comes next. Because this trial isn't slowing down, it's just getting started. And until then, keep watching, keep laughing, keep gasping. Because when reality hits harder than Beyoncé's vocals, you know you're in for one hell of a ride.
Diane, prosecutors have wasted no time getting right into the alleged abuse that Cassie Ventura says she endured for years. Ventura telling jurors, quote, "He would bash my head, knock me over, drag me, kick me, stomp me in the head when I was down." She also got into the nature of those so-called freak-offs, saying that they involved hiring an escort and they performed under the direction of Combs, saying that they happened so frequently it eventually became a job for her to set them up. Ventura said she did not feel she had much of a choice but to participate, that she feared that Combs would retaliate or potentially blackmail her if she did not. And she's had at times to take, she's taken deep breaths, pausing her testimony. Combs appearing to be listening pretty passively with his hands in his lap at the defense table there. Now remember, this is the first time that they are seeing each other face to face since 2018. You can imagine that emotions are very high in the courtroom right now. And this is expected to be a very lengthy testimony. Prosecutors bracing the courtroom for what's to come as she continues to testify, including videos.
Cassie Ventura just named Christina Korm as keeping tabs on her for Diddy. Cassie Ventura is giving her testimony against Diddy right now in his trial, and she just name-dropped Diddy's ex-chief of staff, Christina Korm. Cassie Ventura started her testimony about her early relationship with Diddy, and she even admitted at the very beginning she took E without knowing because it was in a Gatorade bottle. Then she went on to describe the abuse that would start happening to her and how Diddy would keep tabs on her. The government asked Cassie Ventura, how did Diddy keep tabs on you? And she said, we didn't live far apart. He'd send security to come find me or a trusted assistant. Like who? David James or Christina Korm. And we know that Diddy's ex-chief of staff, Christina Korm, has been named in multiple civil lawsuits with Diddy. So the fact that Cassie Ventura just listed her literally sent chills all the way up my spine. Because back in 2018 and prior, during Cassie and Diddy's relationship, I didn't even know if Christina Korm at this time would have any part in any of this. Cassie Ventura points out at this time, Christina Korm was only an assistant for Diddy. She wasn't even Diddy's chief of staff during this time. And I already know that this will not be the last that we hear about Christina Korm. I just didn't know it was happening this early on. Diddy's ex-assistant, Philip Pines, who was on the fall for Diddy, admitted that he testified to the grand jury against Diddy, and he showed us so many pieces of evidence in his documentary interview. He showed text messages between him and Christina Korm of Christina Korm asking for all of these different freak-off supplies.
Because amid all this chaos, lawsuits flying like confetti at a TMZ awards show, accusers stepping forward with stories so wild they make your uncle's conspiracy theories look tame, Diddy is still out here acting like everything's fine, like he's not suddenly public enemy number 7, one in courtrooms across America, but instead just a misunderstood philanthropist who occasionally forgets to wear pants under his Versace tracksuit. Nope. He's still doing his thing, still dropping random motivational speeches on Instagram Live like he's Tony Robbins with a remix. Still acting like the only drama in his life is negotiating sample clearance for an old song. But here's the kicker, witnesses have started going missing. Not like moved to Colorado and grew beards missing. More like asterisk poof asterisk gone. Vanished. As in, I was subpoenaed and now I'm taking a sudden vacation to the Bermuda Triangle missing. And suddenly, people aren't just asking questions about Diddy's past, they're asking whether his present includes a private jet full of disappearing acts and a burner phone hotline to asterisk WITSEC asterisk, but not the official kind. Because let's be real, this isn't just scandalous anymore. This is Shakespearean levels of drama meets true crime podcast material. We've got secret documents, sealed lawsuits, explosive testimonies that never happen, and now missing witnesses. It's less asterisk making the band asterisk and more asterisk witness protection wishlist asterisk. And while Diddy keeps posting videos of himself looking calm, like he's narrating a TED Talk titled asterisk how to win friends and avoid court dates asterisk, the rest of us are sitting here whispering, wait, where'd that person go? Like we're watching a magician saw someone in half and then forgetting where he left the top half. Meanwhile, the internet is already rewriting its theories faster than Trump rewrites history. Some say they're scared, some say they were bought off. Others? Well, they're just straight up asking if asterisk The Sopranos asterisk finale was just a documentary preview. So yes, folks, we are officially witnessing the strangest chapter yet. Where Diddy still hasn't given up on his old habits, the legal pressure keeps rising like dough in a gluten-free bakery, and suddenly, people who were supposed to testify are ghosting their DMV appointments. Is it paranoia, or is it just reality? Either way, grab your popcorn, call your lawyer, and keep one eye on the news and the other on your group chats, because if this trial gets any juicier, it'll need a warning label and a bib. Until next time, stay tuned, stay skeptical, and above all, stay subscribed. Because trust me, when the next witness turns into a mystery, you'll want to hear about it first.
Sean Diddy Combs' trial backing out? Victim number 3, as she's called, was set to testify against the music mogul. The name of victim number 3 was going to be revealed when she took the stand, but the woman has apparently gone missing, and prosecutors say they've been unable to reach her.
People just get nervous, and this person could just be nervous and just has had second thoughts.
If the prosecutor can't find this witness, how might it affect the case?
Look, I don't think it's going to have a tremendous effect. The prosecution is going to call a number of alleged victims. So look, this is just one less.
Someone else is also getting cold feet. A juror sent an email to the judge asking to be removed from the panel for issues of personal well-being.
The question now isn't asterisk, if asterisk this goes deeper. It's asterisk, how deep does it go asterisk? And more chillingly, how many people helped him stay hidden in plain sight? Because if you thought this was going to be another celebrity rumor war fought with Instagram captions and cryptic tweets, you were wrong. This is full-on legal warfare with real survivors, real pain, and real consequences. And as the stories pile up, so do the names, the enablers, the gatekeepers, the ones who looked away, laughed off the red flags, or worse, signed NDAs like they were autographs at a crime scene. And let's be honest, folks, this isn't just about parties, fashion lines, or music videos anymore. This is about asterisk, asterisk power, silence, and what happens when both finally break asterisk, asterisk. Because when you spend decades building an empire on top of secrets, eventually the foundation cracks, and once it does, everything buried underneath comes rushing out like Trump trying to explain inflation. We'll be following this case every step of the way, because this is no longer just about Diddy. No, this is about holding asterisk, asterisk power accountable asterisk, asterisk, about exposing the culture that allowed predators to thrive in luxury, and about giving victims the microphone they were denied for far too long. So if you're wondering whether this will end quietly, not a chance. Because once the truth starts rolling like a snowball through hell, it doesn't stop until it hits the fan. So make sure to hit that asterisk, asterisk like button, asterisk, asterisk, smash the asterisk, asterisk, subscribe, asterisk, asterisk, and turn on SIPA notifications, because trust me, you don't want to miss this. We're not just telling stories anymore, we're watching history unfold. And this time, the only thing louder than the music is the testimony. Stay tuned, folks, because justice doesn't always move fast, but when it does, it trends.